The city of Huntingburg holds its second public hearing for the Patoka Lake water main project. More coverage from yesterday's Dubois Strong annual meeting and luncheon, and Inform featuring Dubois County WIC Program Director Stacy Fisher. Those stories and much more are coming up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, investigators with the Huntingburg Police Department took a Huntingburg man into custody yesterday afternoon after he was accused of sexual misconduct with a minor. Last month, HPD Detective Sergeant Christian Gogol and the Dubois County Department of Child and Family Services launched an investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct with a minor that occurred from February through August of last year in Huntingburg. Gogol spoke with 21-year-old Bradley Dodderwick around 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Dodderwick was then placed under arrest and lodged in the Dubois County Security Center. He faces a Class C felony for sexual misconduct with a minor. Last night, the city of Huntingburg held their second public hearing for the city's application for a Community Focus Fund grant. The grant would go towards making repairs to the water supply line that brings water into Huntingburg from Patoka Lake from the east. One area in which the city's previous 3 applications for the grant that has scored lower than the rest of the criteria used for deciding who gets grants has been public input. Following the meeting last night, Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spenner talks about the public hearing and what's next for the project going forward.
That application process will end at the end of the month. There's still opportunity for citizens to voice their support of this project, either through letters or there will be one more public hearing coming up later this month. But I would encourage the citizens who are in support of this project to put their words in writing. They can submit them here to the City Hall and we'll make sure that they become part of that application. This is a very important project for our city to help stabilize our water supply, which has been outstanding since that connection with Patoka Lake.
This application marks the city's 4th attempt at applying for the Community Focus Fund grant, which is handled through the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. The city of Huntingburg has already committed a local match of $83,000 to the project, and an additional $50,000 of economic development income funding will be written into the 2014 edit budget for the project. Also last night, the city appointed Rachel Steckler to the recently created Director of Communications and Community Development position. Steckler was excited to get the job and talks about her goals for her new job.
I really want to improve the communication between the city and the residents. I want residents to feel like, they know what's going on and just get everybody involved.
Steckler is a Bloomington native who currently resides in Huntingburg. An Indiana State University graduate with a degree in public relations, Steckler also minored in marketing and journalism. Steckler says she originally wanted to go into the sports field and completed an internship with the Indiana Pacers. However, Steckler says there were few opportunities for sports work in her field in this area. She says she enjoyed her marketing work while working for the hospital, and when this opportunity came up during listening sessions held last year for Huntingburg citizens, she jumped on it. Steckler will be starting her new job on Monday. Yesterday, the local economic development group Dubois Strong held their annual meeting and luncheon to celebrate the work of the previous year. The event included a keynote speech from former Indiana Lieutenant Governor and current Radius Indiana President Becky Skillman, as well as remarks from Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spenner and Dubois Strong Interim President Michael Cummings. Cummings, who took on the presidency duties in October of last year, talks about his transition into the role of interim president of the organization, along with being the organization's director of marketing and investor development.
It's really been a seamless transition as far as operations. I was familiar with the organization having worked there in the past, so it was a little bit easier, not as much of a learning curve for me to come in. But I feel like we're getting into a groove. We got some new programs we're going to roll out in the summer, and we're going to keep plugging along at this thing and making progress.
Cummings also talks about what he thinks are the biggest successes of the organization over the past year.
Investment in the Buxton Analytics was a big step for us. I think that puts us in position to offer value to either entrepreneurs, small business owners, real estate developers, those kinds of individuals. So that was a big landmark for us. I think also the expansion of our board to offer advisory seats We've brought in a lot more private sector stakeholders to the table, and gotten input from a kind of a wider base of people, and that's been huge for us to establish a better relationship with the private sector.
Also yesterday, Dubois Strong presented their Entrepreneur of the Year award. Josh and Todd Britton of Precision Stoneworks Incorporated, a granite countertop company in Huntingburg, were the winners of this year's award. Cummings cited Precision Stoneworks' contributions to the community as reasoning for the award being presented to them.
They've offered a service to other manufacturers who have incorporated their granite into their own products. So for some of our desk manufacturers, there's maybe granite tops on the desk. And so it's opened up a whole new line of products for our existing companies too. So we feel like that they add a lot of value. They have an interesting story that we really need to highlight and show them off as an example of success.
Cummings says brain drain has been talked about ad nauseum in rural communities and pointed to the Brittons' efforts as a powerful story that should be held up as an example of success. Last night, the Jasper and Dubois County Contractual Library Boards met to discuss an array of issues currently affecting the libraries. The biggest issue currently on the table is health insurance in the wake of the impending Affordable Care Act. Jasper Library Board President Bill Hewitt says 2014 is fast approaching and getting health insurance issued resolved remains a top priority.
We need to know where we go with the full-time staff as far as insurance is concerned. And then the balance of it is changing some staff terminology and that type thing. But when we get to Jasper, most of the things have to do with this building because we've just recently taken this over.
If certain provisions of the Affordable Care Act set to take effect in the near future are enacted, the Library Board may have to amend a portion of its policy where 60% of library employee health insurance benefits are paid by the libraries themselves. The construction efforts for the Brettsville Junction project will soon be getting underway. Starting on or after this upcoming Monday, crews will begin working in the area at the intersection of State Roads 64 and 162 to add left turn lanes to the intersection for north and southbound traffic, as well as adding a stoplight. NDOT recently awarded a contract for the project to Letgreen Brothers Incorporated of Tell City for $1 million. NDOT advises that motorists can expect narrowed lanes along State Road 162 as they begin dirt work for the additional lanes. Crews will also begin the installation of electrical lines for the new signals. The signal will be activated once the new turn lanes have been constructed and all pavement markings are in place. All work is anticipated to be complete on this project in October of this year. NDOT encourages motorists to slow down and pay special attention as they become familiar with the new traffic patterns at this location. For the latest news and information on NDOT, please visit them at the web links listed on your screen. The Jasper Community Arts Commission has announced its plans for this year's Chalk Walk event. The 10th annual event, which was originally set for last Saturday but was postponed due to weather, is set for tomorrow, May 11th from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the Courthouse Square in downtown Jasper. Event coordinator Karina Mack talks about some of the things that will be going on downtown during tomorrow's event.
We have a lot of things going on in the downtown area for that day. Those things include hands-on art projects. We will have paper marbling, we will have face painting, a community canvas, which is a 3D image that will be on the ground done by artist Laura Pommier. And new this year we have I Spy and we have duct tape bookmarks. And the kids really love duct tape, so we think that'll be really popular. And of course we always have tie-dyeing for the Chalk Walk t-shirts.
Area artist Farmhouse Hippie will be among the artists in attendance. Free entertainment, music, and dance will set the tempo for the day's festivities, and food and beverage booths will also be available. Mack talks about the impact of having an event like the Chalk Walk for the Jasper community.
Family events are always popular. I mean, I think that people really look for something, family friendly. And Jasper's proud of their heritage, and part of that is, we have a lot of artistic people in this area. So I think that it's significant because, 10 years to keep it going that long and to have the great turnout we do year after year is just fantastic. And to give families an opportunity to enjoy the arts outdoors at an event like this, I think is just really important. So we're really proud that it keeps going.
For additional information on this weekend's event, please contact Karina Mack at the number listed on your screen. Finally this evening, the second annual Poverty Simulation Day was held this morning at the WJTS campus in Jasper from 9 until noon. This event is put on by TRICAP as part of National Community Action Awareness Month. Northeast Dubois High School was the primary participant group in this poverty simulation event. The high schoolers go through a real-life simulation where they are the adults and role models of the household. Joyce Fleck, the executive director for TRICAP in Jasper, says the challenge of getting out of poverty is stressful, but becoming aware of certain responsibilities is the first step.
It helps them just raise awareness of what the responsibilities are in life, number one, if they're teenagers. But adults come too because they simply don't understand why is someone in poverty, why can't they get out of poverty? So they come here to take the challenge, the adults, to take the challenge themselves, to say, I can do this, I can manage my money, I can make it. At the end of the day, we're going to see how many people truly made it. And if they didn't, why not?
Flex says TRICAP has many services to help the community with various poverty issues. Coming up after the break, a rainy Friday will give way to sunshine by Sunday in your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gusell, and Inform featuring Dubois County WIC Program Director Stacy Fisher. That's all coming up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.